Hello, VRTO. My name is Christian Hurst, and I'm from Interleave, and I'm going to be talking with you today about immersive and interactive audio. I'm the co-founder and managing director at Interleave. We are a full-service music and audio company, and we specialize in interactive and immersive. We've provided music, audio, and voice direction, composition, sound design, and implementation for more than 50 AAA games, dozens of mobile titles and immersive projects, and composition, sound design, and music supervision for TV, film, ads, and trailers. Some of our recent projects include Gears 5 for Microsoft Coalition, FIFA 20 for EA Sports, Doctor Who, The End of Time VR for Maze Theory, Freediver Triton Down VR for Archaeact, Scary Girl Mission Maybe LBE VR for Dark Slope, Gabby Duran and the Unsettables for Disney, Dauntless for Phoenix Labs, and lots more. Current projects include delivering comprehensive music and audio solutions for cutting-edge VR, AR, and mixed reality, including Peaky Blinders VR with Maze Theory, several mobile and AAA titles, some live-action and animated TV series, and feature films. We're also involved in the creation and development of some very special interactive and immersive projects and platforms, including a VR music creation app, a graphic novel AR platform, and a suite of multi-curriculum education apps. So, every creator wants their VR experience to look, sound, and feel as powerful, authentic, and as immersive as possible, but it's actually very rare for even experienced people to understand how important a role music and audio play in the delivery of this. For example, spatial concepts like immersive, binaural, ambisonic, methods or techniques like generative audio and GAN synth, tools like head-related transfer functions, and virtual auditory displays are all very exciting, but it takes a lot of planning and collaboration to use them effectively. Powerful concepts and tools offer as many challenges as they do opportunities. Pushing the boundaries of what is possible with music, sound design, ambience, dialogue, and implementation is critical for immersion, but these elements are almost always overlooked and underscoped. And this obviously creates serious challenges for the music, audio, and emotional elements of your projects, but it also means that opportunities to engage the immersive power of music and sound through narrative, game mechanic choices, etc. are wasted, which is super unfortunate. So I'm going to talk about the importance of audio elements in immersive media, especially in VR, and how they can augment or destroy immersion and engagement, as well as explore how to properly scope audio design and implementation requirements for a project. This includes especially how even minor changes can dramatically impact the scope and desired effect of a scene or object, using psychoacoustics and other powerful tools to create deeper immersion with less sound, and other strategies for working with audio teams and assets to deliver maximum impact while minimizing costs. So let's talk about audio concepts first. Many of the most common audio terms and concepts, especially those concerning immersive and interactive audio, are widely misunderstood. These concepts often function counterintuitively within a player experience as well. So this means we're often speaking different languages than the game designers and development team when we first come to the table. Later in the process, these conversations happen, the more likely it is that there are major issues to solve around asset design, scope, and implementation. And of course, this impacts the overall quality of the experience as well as your budget and your timeline. So, spatial audio. That simply means audio that is not mono, can mean stereo, surround, binaural, ambisonic, and beyond. There is a very wide range of complexity in spatial audio, and that complexity is further augmented by how an audio environment is being experienced by the player or user. Stereo audio, the most basic spatial audio, and this allows us to hear in two dimensions from left to right. Surround sound audio goes further incrementally, 4.0, 5.1, 6.1, 7.1, 9.1, 11.2, beyond. Binaural audio is 360-degree sound that has to be experienced through headphones and models the way sound is naturally perceived by the human ear, but it is not responsive to user input. Ambisonics, or 3D audio, is 360-degree sound, which is responsive to a visual field. When you move your head in one direction or another, the audio changes to reflect that movement. And then there are 3D object-based surround sound solutions like Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, and RO3D. So, audio components almost always include sound design, Foley and ambience, dialogue and nonverbal vocalizations like grunts, groans, and breathing, music, and implementation. Each of these components requires their own distinct vision and strategy, many with an array of different elements, which each offer their own distinct opportunities and challenges as well. Each element should be designed, created, and implemented with the narrative, game mechanics, and user player experience in mind. And until the concept for how one sound interacts with every other sound, the game environment, the user experience, and the larger implementation vision is discovered, understanding the best way to approach this along with knowing the scope, budget, timeline, and the best tools to use is impossible. So, challenges and opportunities: inherently immersion, engagement, narrative, game mechanics, innovation, psychoacoustics, sonic concepts and ideas, marketing potential, scoping assets, budgets and timelines, technical design and implementation, pushing boundaries. How far can you go in the service of your story? All of that stuff needs to be explored. So when scoping any immersive or interactive project, collaborative and exhaustive analysis of the music, sound design, dialogue, and implementation needs for every project is vital. The number and complexity of assets required, the way that these can be cross-leveraged and used creatively together, as well as with other elements of the experience in order to increase engagement and immersion has to be explored. There are countless scenarios where multiple knock-on assets and other challenges quickly blow up with a simple design change, or an opportunity for innovation and creativity can be found. Implementation design options can offer many choices that can allow more of your budget to go towards incredible creative and less tech with better results. With immersion, sometimes less is more. User attention, engagement, and comfort are the most important things. And while many audio concepts and techniques make sense on paper, it is very easy to overwhelm, disorient, or confuse a player with sound. Without knowing everything about what's happening with visuals, movement, interaction, haptics, etc., it's impossible to determine how different sound techniques and intensities will impact the user, or even the ways music and sound can potentially reduce discomfort.
Doc, I haven't been diving in months.
Trust me. You'll want to see this with your own eyes.
With insight and knowledge into these elements and the opportunity to blend ambience, sound design, music, and dialogue properly, immersion and engagement can reach a depth and level of comfort which is otherwise impossible. On innovation, when music and audio design elements and technical audio design possibilities are explored early and can be incorporated into the DNA of a project along with narrative and game mechanics, etc., pretty incredible things are possible. This includes opportunities for innovation and creativity in every facet of design and development, not just the music and audio components. Deeper collaboration offers many chances to go above and beyond even the exceptional and means that some of the most powerful elements of your experience can provide more engaging and authentic immersion. This also allows your team to utilize innovative new technologies and creative techniques that enrich the user experience and delight your audience. Some project examples. So Scary Girl, Mission Maybe, we did audio direction, music direction, sound design, technical audio design, dialogue design, collaborated with Grayson Matthews on voice work and music. It was a big project, really, really lovely to work on. Dark Slope team is very experienced and ambitious and imaginative. We got to dig really deep on asset design and technical audio work with them. Very deep collaboration with their team on every element, exploring the Scary Girl DNA, each environment thoroughly. Their passion and their understanding for the music and audio also made it a great experience. And we had to consider some really unique and exciting opportunities and challenges. Since it was such a complex project with up to 8 players and an LBE simultaneously, we built the audio implementation system in Unreal from scratch. So this allowed us to think pretty deeply about how assets could work together, design ways for elements to mingle and interact along with the players in the environments. Scary Girl is a very special character, and the story we're telling here is very powerful, but it doesn't come across as heavy-handed. So delivering the music, dialogue, sound design, and ambience that enriches and immerses yet does not distract it's tough, but it was a real pleasure to find the right sounds for this project. Freediver, Triton Down, we did audio direction, sound design, technical audio design, music composition, dialogue design, voice direction. The Archiac team is visionary and quite exceptional. We were really fortunate to be able to collaborate with them on every element of this project, which was developed in 2 distinct phases. The first was extremely experimental, which was super fun. Creating an authentic and immersive underwater experience is it's a big challenge, and working with a team that understood the importance of audio from the outset was a real treat. We were able to find very innovative ways of working with sound on this project that would not have been possible otherwise, and using Wise to implement the audio created many additional opportunities. We used binaural panning to augment the atmosphere of panic and isolation, connected the 2 audio environments, both above and underwater, which needed their own 3D sources. And design was very challenging and rewarding around those elements. Sound is very different underwater. You lose a lot of the spatial position of sound because the waves travel differently, and that's something that we try to make use of without making the whole mix feel like a 2D bed. Many of the underwater emitters only provide a small bit of spatial panning while their attenuation remains intact. This helps create real distinction between the panned above water sounds like drips and creaking metal versus the sounds you use to orient yourself underwater. Since you can move around and interact with the world however you like, it's a challenge for designers to lay a path for the player without it feeling like hand-holding. Archiac made the great decision to highlight important objects and interactables with a glow, and the player always knows what they can use. On the audio side, those important objects were also given sounds and haptics when gripped and released, and they also tie their playback into data from the game, such as velocity and rotation in the case of the doors, velocity or axe physics audio. The audio was also designed to be as realistic and as immersive as possible, so the instrumentation is meant to function organically with the ship's sounds. The ship is a primary character in Freediver and sings and speaks through its syncing. Instead of approaching the score with traditional brass or strings, we decided to have the ship become the actual source of tone and tension throughout the score. We even rubbed different sustained frequencies against each other based on the user's input as a way of enhancing the tension that the user would feel underwater. Melodies were conjured by manipulating sounds like dry ice inside large ventilation shafts, and stringed instrument bows were used on different densities of metal. We also smeared the position of underwater sounds to accent sound wave differences in the 2 mediums, and many of the sounds were positioned using 360 surround tools. Plugins were used to add credible space to the air environments and keep the underwater environment intimate. To create a strong contrast between the air and the water-filled environments, we used a tonal contrast as well as a perceptual one. The teaser and trailer sound effects were edited primarily to picture from gameplay assets and then tweaked and sweetened. And that work was actually featured recently on the Unreal homepage, which was pretty cool. Doctor Who: The Edge of Time, we did sound design and implementation on. Maze Theory, their team is fantastic, and they have a ton of experience, insight, imagination again. So scoping and creating assets, implementation, design, and delivery was challenging, but it was really wonderful to work with their team. We're actually working very enthusiastically with them on a number of new projects, including Peaky Blinders VR. Their understanding of how deeply music and audio impacts immersion and engagement gave us the opportunity to work really closely with their team to design some very special elements. Obviously, a project like this includes legacy assets, and managing those elements along with all of the other audio within an innovative and immersive vision is quite tricky, but very rewarding. We were also able to integrate extremely well with their team in the UK from both Toronto and Vancouver very effectively, and that allowed us to further prove the value of our highly distributed team and develop more opportunities with Maze Theory and other UK developers. So, fortunately, this model has also been a huge advantage for us given the current situation. So we consider ourselves very lucky. If you remember anything from this talk, please let it be that you have literally nothing to lose and everything to gain by bringing your music and audio people in as early as possible, even just to consult and scope the work as thoroughly as you can. They are, or should be anyway, experts in everything music and audio related, and can be amazing sources of information and insight that can color a lot of other elements of the project. Evaluating your music, audio, and implementation options, identifying potential challenges and opportunities, very much worth the time and effort, can save you so much time and money and give you a much better result at the end. Prevent headaches and disasters, and absolutely elevate the quality of your product and the user player experience. So thank you very much, VRTO. Lovely to be here. And you can find us online at interleavecreative.com. Any other links or information people like, please feel free to shoot me a message, and I look forward to answering some of your questions. All right. Thanks and take care.